Alright, well, g'day and welcome back. Got a couple of missions in mind today. For those who did not catch the last episode, we had it in mind that we were going to head out today and have a look at Egerton salt mines. But before we do that, so what we want to try and have a look at today is getting into the quick habit of mining the Elixir well here. So we discussed earlier that we need our Shroud cores to upgrade everything, and we also need a lot of other parts as well. And now that we're quite used to taking down the fell Thunderbrute, it's not actually difficult to come down now and just get down here, do a really quick farm, and if we take a look in our backpack, we've got one Shroud core already. If you were after the guillotine, great. If not, that's fine as well, because all we really wanted to do was just get a hold of that core. And now we can get back to business. Alright, so we're looking to head back up to home again now. And then we're going to go and take a look at the mine. Alright, so now that we've cleared everything up in terms of our storage and we've got everything ready to go there's one little zone I wanted to go to really quickly before we head off to the Egerton salt mines. And this is to do with what I was speaking about in our last episode, where we need to dig. So you see there was a flag here, and there's some rubble that's right here which indicates we should dig. So if I have a quick dig here, and you see we've got a gold chest here. And we've now got a wolf snarl longbow. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can farm these chests, and being that this one is so close to us, it may be helpful. However, now that we're starting to advance to some areas that are a little bit beyond our level, it may or may not be something that's beneficial. As you saw, we only got a level 3 weapon, so that's not really up to scratch with what we've been receiving already. However, you may actually receive other things from that gold chest. It's not going to be a weapon every time, so it may be worth your while coming back and checking on it, seeing it's not too far from where we are. It's just something I just want to flag earlier on, because you may actually just want to be sitting around and doing a little bit of building for a while, so you may not actually want to progress too far through the game, and you might want to be getting the most out of the game you possibly can. Just enjoying it. So if you want to take advantage of the zone and just farming it for a little while, then that's an option for you. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to head off into the far end of Egerton salt mines. There is a reason for that, because there is actually an abandoned building that's just above my head there, which I've noticed the last time we came here. So what we'll do is we'll check that out on the way back. But first of all, we're going to head off here to the far end of the salt mines. And what I'd like to do, if I possibly can, is see, as we spoke about last time, see if we can get a high view of the area here and see if there's anything we can do in terms of taking advantage of the zone and getting a clean view of the zone and taking enemies out before we actually head on down there. So we've actually been given a little flare and a notice that there is a zone here, which is a save zone. So, and the first thing that we come across here, which is pretty cool, is a silver chest. So looking on the map, it's just there. There's an apprentice one there, that's pretty cool. There's a piece of lore there on the table there as well for the bugs in the walls. Now what we can do from here is head on down if we like. You can still hear the music in the background that there are enemies close by. So we're not sure if that's just those bugs or not as yet. But I can see a couple of enemies down the bottom there. And yes, there we go. Now know that there's a couple more around the place here. Where are you going, buddy? What's he doing? Bit of a weirdo, wasn't he? Alright, so let's take a quick look up this end and see if there's anything else. Looks like we're headed further along a path, and oh yes, there's a shroud right there. Alright, so it looks like we've got as much as we need to get from this end. Just come back and take care of this guy here. So you'll notice now that taking down enemies of this level is not so difficult anymore, because we've now got a little bit better weapon and we've upgraded our weapons as well. So you'll see along the way here as well, there's just a whole heap of salt around the area here. And we do need to make sure that we take into account that we are running out of time as well, always. That's something that's always present earlier on in game. We need to make sure that we take into account that we don't have a lot of time here in the Shroud. You'll see there's a ton of mycelium in this area here as well, so it's a good opportunity to loot that. Very nice, buddy. So there's a whole heap of salt here to mine. Comes in handy. I've already got quite a lot of it, so I won't spend a whole lot of time on that, because we need to make sure that we can get out of here. And the other thing that's up in this area here as well, if we have a look on the map, there's another silver chest here as well. Right, so working our way down towards the end now, because we've only got a little amount of time left. You can see that there's a grapple point here. And through those couple of grapple points we're able to make our way out of the Shroud and reset our timer, which is what we're after. So that's a pretty good little journey in, and we were cutting it close a little bit with the Shroud timer, but we didn't end up getting stuck in there for too long. What we'll do now is we'll head over to that abandoned building, which we can see just over here in front of us. Making sure we get our rested buff as we head along the path. And you can see it's just up here. Alright, so is there a way for us to get around this building? I really don't think so. I think we're going to have to take it head on. So hopefully there's not too much here in the way of enemies. Gracious, there's a few bugs in here. Ambushed! Been ambushed. Alright though. what do we got up here? Walkway across here. Oh, there we go. It's like wooden chest. Yes, it is. Oh, that's very handy. Some ice bolts. Is there anything on the other side over here? Yes, indeed there is. It's another wooden chest. It's got some fireballs. So that's going to be quite handy for us to remember because it's pretty close to our base. So we can just continually come down here and loot this area. Oh, we still do have a couple of enemies in here though. They are level 5s, so we need to be careful. And we still have the enemy music, so there's another enemy somewhere here still hiding. See up the top here, oh, we've got 2 wooden chests. Scrap arrows, that's very handy. And now the now the music stopped, so looks like we're in the clear. Those 2 wooden chests there were extremely helpful. So at this stage, I'd say that looks like that's all we're going to have time to actually do in this zone. We know that where we've got to head to is over in this direction here somewhere. And about here. And from memory it was just up here, yes it was. So we've got just enough time. And there we go, just enough time to spare. And as we mentioned last time, stop and loot these, but I have looted these very recently, so I've already got those complete. And that should sort us out for that zone. So now that we know what is upon us in that zone, I think we should be able to head back to that zone and loot it continuously, as we did at the beginning of the episode here, where we went back to loot the Shroud core. And the benefits of us doing that, we'll be able to get ourselves continued supply of weapons, and you can see that we get different ones at different times. And we also got quite a few different staff charges in there, which is quite handy. And we'll also be able to loot that gold chest that we looted at the beginning, and there's a heap of arrows that are there as well. So it's a good little loot spot, and it's something we'll be able to utilize at various times throughout our entire game. Alright, well that's going to be it for us for this episode. What we're going to do next time we catch up is head off and look into rescuing our next survivor. However, I mentioned a little while ago that I, in my exploration, triggered the ancient vault for the carpenter down to the south or southeast from us. So what we'll do next time we catch up is we'll head to the Cinder Vault and we'll make our way through the Shroud. Now that we've unlocked the Shroud, we'll head through a place called Morwenna down there, and I'll give you a bit of a look at that in terms of a potential base for yourself. If a base like where we have ours is in Woodguard doesn't actually suit you, maybe Morwenna might suit you, so it'll give you an extra option for setting up a base for yourself. And then we'll take a look at heading off to rescue the carpenter. Alright, well, thanks very much for watching once again, and we'll see you next time on Glitch Gaming.